All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Carnal Conservative, and we have an article about Elon Chan. Now, this is about his child who has filed to change their name as she, hint, they were not born as a girl, no longer wants to be related to him. Now, we're going to get through this article, but I'm going to add some commentary at the end because I have seen this trend, and not just in my life, but the lives of those close around me. We've seen it with the Kellyanne Conway, the former spokesperson for the Trump administration, and we see it here again with Elon Musk. And I'm just going to add how this all started at the end. The billionaire's 18-year-old transgender child said she did not want to be related to her, that should be in quotations, father in any way, shape, or form. Elon Musk's 18-year-old child says he no longer wants to be related to him in any way, shape, or form after filing legal documents to change gender identity. The former, Xavier Alexander Musk, who recently turned 18, the age of consent in California, of course it was California, has asked the court to change her gender recognition from male to female and to register her new name. The reason for the name change was stated as gender identity and the fact that I no longer wish to live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry that I stumbled through that. It was a bit of a mouthful. The fact that I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form. That's how that should read. A petition for both a name change and a new birth certificate. You can now rewrite your own personal history, your own biological history in the state of California, was filed at Los Angeles County Superior Court in April, but only recently came to light. There was no further detail in the apparent rift between Musk's son, this is his son, and her father, his father. The mother is Canadian writer Justine Wilson, Musk's first wife, whom he married in the year 2000. They divorced in 2008 after having 5 sons, all of whom are now teenagers. Musk did not immediately comment on the development. He is attempting to take over Twitter, as we all know. The court document was filed a month before Musk publicly declared his support for the Republican Party and voting Democrat. And instead of voting Democrat, he is also leaning towards supporting Ron DeSantis, who recently introduced the so-called Don't Say Gay law, which forbids the instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in schools when it is inappropriate for younger children who have no business learning such material. I'm sorry, I had to editorialize that because it's the Telegraph and we can't count on them to be honest. Musk previously faced criticism after discussing on Twitter the issue of transgender people choosing their preferred pronouns. In 2020, he wrote on Twitter that pronouns suck. He deleted it. He should put that back in. He then said, I absolutely support trans, but all these pronouns are an aesthetic nightmare. He's not wrong. Last week he wrote, we are simultaneously being told that gender differences do not exist, and that genders are so profoundly different that irreversible surgery is the only option. Perhaps someone wiser than me can explain this dichotomy. Because Elon Musk is not a stupid man, and he's waiting for some other bozo who thinks that he's smarter than him to explain to him that obvious, shall we say, paradox, contradiction. But back to the topic of Musk and his now prodigal son, and I'm not going to apologize for that title. This is his child. He lost a son to this madness. And this has been in our culture and in our society for a very long time. Since Star Wars, in fact. Darth Vader. Darth, German name for father, has been under attack for quite some time. And you see this theme repeated again, where the protagonist is forced to choose between higher morality and family legacy, even though that family legacy comes at a cost. It comes at the brutal reality of the world around them. Darth Vader didn't become Darth Vader just because he's evil. Horrible example, I know. But we also have other examples in media. I challenge you to go and look for them. The denigration of the idea of fatherhood as something that you need to rebel against and destroy is as old as time. And it's a degenerate force. It is an evil force, and it's been thrust upon our children, and we don't correct it, because often we don't think it's there. We think we watch the show and think, oh, well, that couldn't possibly be about me. It's just, about being a good person, right? No, it is about you. It is about destroying your authority. It's about destroying the ethos that you have to offer your child and the world that they are being raised in. But the biggest example I saw out of this was actually from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where Chris Pratt, I think that's the character. Anyway, Star-Lord. We'll just call him Star-Lord if I can't remember the proper actor's name. Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 discovers that he is part celestial, meaning that he can create worlds. He can be a lord over a dominion of a literal world, and that world will obey his commands. It will help him flourish. And his father, a mad lad, said, you know what, I can take this power and I can conquer it, but I need someone to help me get the job done. So he goes out, seeks many other species, seeks many other mates and companions, and finds that he can't mate with any of them except for, well, humans. Humans are the only ones he can actually competently mate with, create a child, and then channel this power through his child. Only humans were able to genetically pass down this celestial trait. And so when Star-Lord learns that his father has, done this great thing to try and spread his influence across the galaxy, he betrays him. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Let's look at these examples. What is the father offering you? Power. He's offering you wisdom. He's offering you the ability to rule and reign. And that's not inherently evil. It's just not. And yet we're rejecting it because of the fifis, in essence. We're appealing to something unknown and abstract when these father figures are actually seeking their own children to help include them in this grand project. Now, whether you personally agree with these individual notions of, well, power grabbing, it really doesn't matter. It's about the desires of the father to give what they have to their children. That notion has been deemed evil by your society. And that same phenomena is now taking Elon Musk's son away from him. Elon Musk is now the Darth Vader to his own son, and that has damaged his son to the point where his son no longer knows what gender he is. That's how insidious this is. This is the end result of a child turning on their father. They become effeminate, they become weak, they become something nature never intended for them to be. And this is a sad moment, because it's a culmination of decades of passive consumption and internalization of beliefs that we should have never accepted in the first place. And that is the state of fatherhood today, unfortunately. I'm Carnal. I hope you take this to heart, and be well, and God bless everyone. Bye-bye. As soon as I can get this thing off air. There we go.